coming up.
You go sit in any kind of barns or you go sit in any sales, it doesn't look like it's going to stop here for a minute.
The guys that have the optimism of this thing's going to be here and it's going to be here for a little while.
And the cattle feeder's got more hedges on, or the producer's got more hedges on than what he's ever had.
That's right around the corner on the Live Ag Ranch and Livestock Marketing We Live It podcast. But first, a reminder. If it's time to sell your cattle, consign your cattle with Live Ag. Our summer auction schedule is on your screen and available at live-ag.com. Consign your cattle now and take advantage of Live Ag's generations of experience in livestock marketing. Now here's your hosts, Ty D. Cordova and Casey Mabry.
I'd like to welcome y'all back to the We Live It podcast. Myself, Ty D. Cordova, and Casey Mabry here live from Aledo, Texas, on the back porch of Jason Barber's house. We stopped in here today to record another podcast that'll come out this Thursday, so just so y'all know when we are talking, if something has changed in the market, we're not that dumb. It's just that we are recording this thing. So, Casey, how's it been going? We haven't seen you this summer. You've been kind of hiding out on us.
I know, man. We've been stuck behind the desk here lately. Markets have been obviously very intense and very volatile, and there's lots going on. So we've pretty much tried to stay pretty much glued to that, watching all the different things in the market. But otherwise, I mean, summer's been good. Personally, we always talk about, livestock and things like that from a kid standpoint. We're just starting out buying some of these show pigs.
How was your last weekend experience down in South I-10 down there?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you get around Bernie, Texas, make sure you park under a light. I guess there was 10 trucks that had gotten broken into, knocked my window out. I guess the good thing is they dug around in my truck and figured out there's only a couple like empty syringes and maybe a bottle of Batril or something in there, as they were looking for stuff. But I didn't have any pistols or any money, so they didn't really take anything out of my truck.
There you go. That's a plus. That's a plus.
Yeah, there's one guy that's truck got stolen, I think, but there was like 20 or so that definitely, it was pretty crazy, I'd say. So everybody out there, make sure whenever you stay at a hotel, figure out you need to park under a light.
Under the light or around the camera or something.
It's gotten pretty crazy on stuff like that.
It's ridiculous, too.
Like wherever you go.
Yeah. So y'all have been just buying a few pigs. You don't have any pigs bought yet, I guess?
No, we're just starting. Yep.
Just starting?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we've had a barn full of steers all summer. It's been hot, but been keeping them cool. Fans going. Girls been getting up early in the morning.
It's been a pretty nice summer, though, from a weather standpoint, though.
It has been. It's been really nice. Like today, I was up in Hollis and McAllen, and it was 75 degrees, and north wind, that northern kind of coming in up there, and it's normally 127 up there, and it was nice today for once.
Yeah, and if you go around anywhere, and I think tying back into some of the stuff that's going on in the markets and things, but weather's been nice. It's been cooler than normal. We've gotten some nice timely rains, and I don't care if you're in South Dakota or in Waco, Texas, or where you're at, it's green.
I was talking to me and Jason struck out a week or two ago when we went to Casper, whenever that was, and from here all the way to Casper was green. Yep. And then we come back through Kansas and back down to Oklahoma City to Expresses, and everywhere we went it was just green and lush. And I mean, we've been very, very fortunate, very, very blessed this year with rain in every aspect of the country. It seemed like we hit a couple of dry spots right there kind of north of Casper. You can see where it's getting a little dry, but other than that, man, it's been phenomenal.
Yeah, so then consequently we've had tons of hay and tons of forage out there across the country, and so that's probably put a pretty decent bid in them lightweight feeder cattle or in them lightweight calves, or even cows or whatever it is. I mean, it's been crazy. And if you think about from a market standpoint and like where people are at in different geographic locations and where their operations are, I mean, pretty much everybody can, get a hold and buy some cattle right now and have something that's either cheap forage or something that's extremely plentiful to get out there and buy some hay, buy some grass.
This is good stuff.
The pool boy.
Don't cut this out for real. As we're sitting here, a man just appears in the backyard, walking through.
We might get him over here and see if we can get that Polaris over
here. See if we get that thing up fixed.
Ready to grab your piece of Texas? Whether you're buying, selling, or scouting out your next adventure, Texas Ranch Sales is your go-to. They know land and they know how to get it in your hands. From massive cattle ranches to hunting land that stretches for miles, they've got what you're looking for. Their expertise and commitment to the land are what set them apart, helping you make informed decisions every step of the way. So whether you're buying your first ranch or expanding your legacy, Texas Ranch Sales has got your back. Visit TexasRanchSales.com today to get started on your ranching journey. Then head over to TexasRanchJournal.com to sign up for the exclusive quarterly magazine, Texas Ranch Sales. Land is more than property, it's your future.
like you said on the hay, I was down and looking at a place Saturday to lease, and that guy was telling me he had bought 2 or 3 loads of 5x6 big round rolls. I mean, $40 a bale delivered, fertilized. I mean, that's when we're seeing gonna have a lot of good hay. But normally when we have this, fortunate enough to have this kind of rain and this kind of grass, we better stock it up because the good Lord's getting us ready for something. So we better tee it up, keep it up, because we might have a pretty rough winter. So.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think wherever you're at, I mean, I went up to Indiana about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I mean, that corn crop up there is incredible. I was in western Nebraska 2 weeks ago. I mean, that corn crop out there is incredible as well. So
yeah, we drove through that one too, and it was unreal.
Yeah, and so I mean, these guys are going to have forage around them. They're going to have grains around them. We've got plenty of feed, and I think that's definitely probably lent a tremendous amount of support into this market. And I mean, that's not even talking about as we go forward and getting into the wheat country, as we go through this fall time period.
And they've had rain too, to ride around the rain to get this stuff put in the ground. I guess they're starting to plant up there and put out some anhydrous and stuff and all that, getting that stuff ready. So
yeah,
just kind of get into some market details. What what do you see trending right now? What is
it's been an uptrend. Just to say that. Yeah.
So, but what are your customers' moods and what are their questions and what are they? I mean, I know it's probably been really, really tough on some guys because of the way this market has ran so fast in a short period of time. But
yeah, I'd call this market really polarizing because if you really step back and you think about it, we always hope the market goes higher so that we can sell at higher prices. The market, as we opened up the year, we were kind of hovering right around $2, and then we pushed that market up into that 210 area, in which a lot of us, I mean, including myself, never thought we would get there. So you saw this first set of selling, and I'd say hedging around $2 on fat cattle, call it like 270, 280 on feeder cattle, and then once we got to that magic number on $3 on feeder cattle, I mean, that was another place where guys really jumped in and started selling again. You call it 210, 212 on fat cattle, and then looked like it wasn't going to continue to go any higher. And the market never even set back. It just pushed higher again. So once you got feeder cattle up there around 320, 330 again, which wasn't even that long ago, fats call it about 215, 220. I mean, a lot of people sold it again. The problem with where we're sitting right now, Ty, is, I mean, everybody's kind of stopping and staring, and they're kind of in awe of what's going on. The cattle that are unhedged are making tremendous amount of money. The cattle are hedged that they're making really good money. But everybody's focusing on, if you're a guy that most people are, I mean, we're working on operating notes and we got margin calls, or maybe you sold cattle early. It gets everybody really emotional around that because they start focusing on what they've sold and not what's unsold.
Yeah.
And so I'll tell you this market is really, really good. I think it's gotten past the point of good in my mind to where it's starting to get a little scary, honestly, because I think everybody now, and you can look at the data. I mean, commitment of traders data is where everybody that's got a reportable position, the CME comes back out, the CFTC reports those positions, and the cattle feeder's got more hedges on, or the producer's got more hedges on than what he's ever had. Yeah. So you know that a lot of people are hedged. You can also see it whenever we're all getting around each other, and a lot of people are going, when's this thing going to break, or when's it going to set back? But you go sit in any kind of barns, or you go sit in any sales, it doesn't look like it's going to stop here for a minute. So
no, and we've seen it for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks now. All the video sales, our video sale in Casper, and everybody else's sale around us. These video sales have been smoking hot. I mean, and you can just see the guys that have the optimism of this thing's going to be here and it's going to be here for a little while, and it's wild. These prices are unreal.
Moving livestock isn't just about getting animals from point A to point B. It's about doing it with the care and precision that keeps your investment safe and sound. Since 1987, Agar Transportation has been the name that ranchers across the country trust with their herds. Their experienced drivers understand that your livestock is your livelihood, and they trust each load like it's their own. I've personally used Agar to move my own livestock, and I can tell you, nobody takes better care of your animals on the road. Whether you're moving herd bulls or a full truckload of calves, give Agar Transportation a call today. That's 208-452-5011, or visit agartransportation.com for a quick quote. Agar Transportation, moving your cattle with care since 1987.
I remember back, and not like trying to get real historical on this deal, but if you think back to when we're in the middle of the drought and coming out of COVID, it was like 2021, 22, sometime in that era. I'd say fat cattle were at $1, feeder cattle were like $1.20 or $1.30 or something like that. We had corn that was kind of sitting around $7-8. Nobody wanted to own one. Nobody had any grass. We were dry everywhere. You'd go drive by sale barns, you'd see it on Facebook where everybody's dropping off cows. They had full trailers showing up and then not even going and sitting down. They just take off. Now you got the opposite occurring. You got less trailers that are showing up with cattle in them. And you got more trailers that are sitting there with cattle ready to go get loaded up. And really it's because they've got a lot of feed, and these guys are, and the guy that thought, it's okay, I'm going to dump my cows at $1,000 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, he thinks that a $3,000 cow is cheap. And so it's kind of funny, and this guy will see this on this podcast probably, but I got a buddy of mine that's doing some work, and he was talking about partnering on some $3,000 cows, and they seem cheap. And the other day, I'm just like, man, I know it might be a cheap deal, but I know tons of people that have bought in 2015-16 bought a $3,000 cow, and then that thing was not cheap, So I'll just tell you, got to be careful and nimble on this deal. Appreciate what the market's giving you. Focus on, and I say this every time, focus on what you don't have sold. Don't focus on what you have sold. Let's try to make sure that we get out there. So from a bullish standpoint, I mean, I don't know anything more that you can throw bullish at this market. So let's talk about here for a minute, Ty, how we got here. So obviously tighter cattle supplies coming out of the drought, took cattle away from the market, took cows down. I think we got the lowest beef, what I'd call the native beef type cow inventory in history. I mean, it goes back since, wherever we peaked the cow herd in 1978. You got to go back to like 1950s before you find a cow herd that's of this size that we've got right now. Dairy cow herd. We got to start talking about the dairy cow herd in my mind. We start talking about analytics and things like that. We got about 9 million dairy cows out there that are producing calves every year. The dairy industry has gotten very efficient at their replacements, and I know that the beef calves that they were selling, they're selling these day-old beef calves for upwards around $1,300, $1,400 a head, and that's gotten really high, and so that's become very important to these dairies. They're letting somebody else raise the heifers, and which that somebody else is nobody, and so they've tightened up the dairy heifer replacement side of that deal, and so you're starting to see some of those guys that are really just continuing to use that cow as a dual-purpose animal, if you will. That calf's worth a lot of money today. Feed's cheap, cattle are high. There's a lot of incentive out there to produce those calves. But 9 million dairy cows, I'm going to tell you, we're probably getting somewhere around between 3 and 4 million calves a year out of that supply chain that's coming into it. So if you look at it from a total standpoint, I mean, it's about 10% of the total cow supply, total calf supply. On an on-feed number standpoint, it's probably 15 to 20% what our total inventory on feed is today is coming out of that dairy supply chain.
Looking to earn a premium for doing things right? At Earth Claims, we provide private, third-party verification services trusted by ranchers and preferred by retailers. We offer the original animal welfare program, Global Animal Partnership, also known as GAP. And now we've added NHTC and Verified Natural to provide the best third-party bundle in the business today. Plus, Earth Claims offers grass-fed and organic programs to propel your access into the top markets and best prices. Our team has over 200 years of combined experience in animal husbandry, and we understand the ins and outs of your operation because we've lived it too. Call us today at 816-652-2004 or visit earthclaims.com to enroll your cattle and start earning more. Earth Claims, rancher trusted, retailer preferred.
There's been a lot of news and topics around New World screwworm and the Mexican feeder cattle imports and then the halting of that. So we stopped that back last November. We really depend on about 1.5 million, I'd say 1.2 million to 1.4 million Mexican feeder cattle that get imported into the U.S. And it's a very vital part of our economy, really. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that probably have a differing opinion on that from a protectionism standpoint around not letting, and I'm not going to get into that debate, but there's a lot of people that depend on those calves to come across, whether you're a wheat pasture guy in Texas that's grazing those things, whether you're a grass guy somewhere that's grazing them, or whether you're a feed yard in South Texas that fills up with those cattle. There's lots of infrastructure in the U.S. that's built upon the dependence of this 1.2 to 1.5 million feeder cattle that come across the border. We shut that border off last fall. Comes back open a little bit, they shut it off again. That's been the thing I think has driven the market probably more than anything. It's that jolt, it's that shock, it's that short squeeze to where the guys that needed them cattle are kind of shuffling around that. That's driven a lot of optimism, on the domestic animal there. So we're down. Cattle on feed report comes out last Friday. Placements came in a little bit bigger than what people would have thought they were going to be, but we've still got an inventory of cattle on feed down about 2%, 1.6% or so. So when you look at the data, Placements come in at about down 6%, so they were 94% of a year ago. You had marketing's down about 6-7% as well, and we've got a tremendous amount of cattle that are not into the system. Right, we're down 650,000, I believe, Mexican feeder cattle that are down, but our inventory is only down 200,000.
Yeah.
And so that's another interesting take. I'd say that that's something that we got to like really think about and go, you know what? Those Mexican feeder cattle didn't come across the border. Where'd they go? I mean, are they sitting there waiting to come? Is it ever going to open up? Secretary Rollins, gave us our, talking about how they were going to control the New World screwworm, and in her press conference we saw about 10 days ago or so. It doesn't look like she's wanting to do anything right now. So I don't think them cattle are coming across here for a little while. What are the dynamics going to be? It feels like it's going to kind of stay tight here for a minute.
Yeah. And we're seeing, as far as on our side of the deal, what we're seeing, the feed costs look like it's driving a lot of this stuff. There's a lot of feed around. There's a lot of corn around. Corn's not going to be worth much. The guys out of Iowa and up through there are going to turn that corn into beef. So we're starting to see a lot of them guys come and drive this price up down here as well. We've seen a lot of guys from up north start going south a little further and buying more cattle down here. We'll see, as you said earlier, was talking about the numbers and the vacancy pens are really down here in the south.
Yep.
You go up north and them guys are got pretty good, their yards are maybe not full, but they're not many empty pens. So, I mean, and I think they started coming down, getting a few more of these southern cattle because the feed's going to be so cheap, and they had to come get them. So,
yeah, it's interesting that if you look at the data, Nebraska has a different placement time than what the southern panhandle, or the panhandle of Texas does. Nebraska, we place all the cattle in the fall, calves and yearlings. We dump the yearlings out as we go through Feb, March, and April, and then we come back with that warmed up calf, as we come out of the grow yards in that time period. We normally deplete the inventory of the cattle in the feedlots through the summertime. And so you go peak on feed numbers in Nebraska, typically just say January 1st. That's before you really started marketing the yearlings. The calves are on feed. The yearlings are on feed. Your Texas numbers are pretty tight. So our Texas numbers are plentiful there in that time period. As we go forward here, what's interesting is like, man, you look at the on feed numbers, and I was showing that to you a minute ago, Ty. Nebraska is the biggest. Texas is the smallest it's ever been. Mm-hmm. Nebraska is the biggest it's ever been for August. Okay, so as we look at August 1st, numbers on feed, Nebraska's the biggest it's been. And so, I mean, one of the things I think of, Todd, maybe we can kind of talk about this for a minute. You look over the last couple of years, who's got the highest price for their cattle?
Yep.
Nebraska. I mean, they've been carrying $120 premium to the south, and so that's been strong there. The weather in Nebraska. I mean, we had a storm a couple years ago that's pretty bad late, but it's really the last couple of years have been kind of open. They didn't have enough grain, to do much with it because China was pulling a bunch of our grain out and going with it. But China's backed off on grain. We've got grain in the north. Farming, I'd say, from that standpoint, has been a little tougher here over the last couple of years. And then step back to look at the incentive. Cattle prices are high. Cattle prices continue to go higher. There's less incentive to sell cattle. Lots of incentive to overfeed cattle. We normally dump calves out of the feedlots in call it June, July, August, but we're not doing that yet.
Right.
And so on feed numbers are big. It's going to be interesting. I know you guys have had a heck of a summer run on these videos. Those cattle haven't been delivered yet. It's going to be interesting to see where they're going to go as we go forward there, as far as like physical delivery and getting them into the feedlots and what that inventory of cattle looks like once we get there.
Yeah, it's been a heck of a summer for everybody. I mean, this market, even though you sell them one week and next week they look too cheap, but man, it's still higher than you ever sold one. I mean, I don't know how you grab about a $2,400 calf and a $3,000 yearling, but I mean, it's unbelievable. So, been very fortunate in the whole industry for that. So, but Casey, I don't know. I just appreciate you coming and joining us today and kind of filling us in on a little market details and getting to see you again. Been
Likewise, you knocked that beard off since the last time I saw you.
Yeah,
try to get you some new growth.
Well, I was looking at the camera angles, and they had made you look taller and thinner, so I thought they could make me look skinnier and younger. So I thought I'd help them a little bit, but it didn't work. So.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I had a good friend of mine, and he'll probably watch this too, that called me and told me I need to get on a diet after that last video where they had that camera angle kind of shot from the bottom side. But
a good friend of yours was on our podcast, and maybe not a good friend, but a young lady that you taught in 4-H meat judging contest, or Katie was on with us in Casper, and did you hear what she said?
No, I didn't hear.
She said, you got to cover that chin up there. Your second chin down there, the light's glaring off of it. And I was like, good job, Katie. I don't even know you very well, but Casey sure did train you. So, but between her and my daughters, I figured I better get it back. So
yeah, if I could grow a beard like that, I probably would.
I'm gonna get it back. But
it's starting to get a little gray though.
Hey man, easy now, easy. I say that's knowledge. I don't know. I ain't got that yet,
I don't know. I think it's his markets, isn't it?
Nah, it is this market.
For sure.
Yeah, this is trying to figure out what to do and what to tell your customers. But now you know all about that.
Well, they got to enjoy it. Like I said, man, I think we've got to embrace this thing, whatever you did. So if you sold cattle too early the last time, just continue to stick along the same plan. Yeah. The last thing you want to do, I mean, and this is advice to everybody, is really change your plan.
Don't change anything.
Yeah.
Keep
So
it the same.
Don't double up on inventory and think it's going to keep going up. Don't go out there and, change your business model. Just keep chugging along, do the right thing, be diligent, continue to manage your plan. Everybody's plan's different. These things can get people jacked up, dude.
Yeah.
And so we just want to make sure that we're playing the right game.
Yep, I agree. So once again, thank you. We'll see you again next week probably. I want to thank everybody out there in social media land for watching us. Don't forget on YouTube, hit subscribe and like. And then on Spotify, rate us if you'd like to. And if you'd like to get a hold of us, contact us about maybe doing some sponsorship for being on the program, or you have any questions, we're at live-ag.com, and reach out to Katie at live-ag.com. I want to kind of talk about a little bit of calendar schedule. We have our September 11th sale coming up here in 3 weeks, I think it is. Deadline on that is a week from now. So be sure if you got some cattle you want to consign to that, you get with us. This market is good, so let's try to get them out there and get them sold. We have a lot of purebred sales coming up this summer. That purebred run is getting big. If you want to go on the website at live-ag.com and click on purebred auctions, kind of scroll down through there and see what all we have to offer. It's a really good lineup of great genetics and great bulls and females. So thank y'all for joining us here on the We Live It podcast. God bless.